My hospital went into lockdown for an active shooter. Then the gunman texted me, "I'm doing this for us." I work as a night nurse in the ICU of a large city hospital. People think the night shift is spooky, but I've always found a strange comfort in it. There's a specific rhythm to the hospital at 2 a.m., the rhythmic beeping of cardiac monitors, the hum of the industrial air conditioning, the squeak of rubber soles on polished linoleum. You get used to the idea that you are the one keeping people alive while the rest of the world sleeps. It's a heavy responsibility, but it's peaceful. Or at least, it usually is. Last Tuesday started like any other shift. I clocked in, checked my vitals, updated 3 charts, and shared a stale, day-old donut with Marcus, the security guard at the front desk. Marcus is 60, with a bad hip and a grandkid he talks about constantly. He's the kind of guy who would hold the elevator for you even if he was in a rush. "Quiet night, Maya," he asked me, dipping his donut in black coffee. "Don't jinx it, Marcus," I laughed. "You say the Q word and the ER floods with patients." I went up to the 3rd floor. My phone buzzed in my scrub pocket around 1:15 a.m. It was my older brother, Elias. Asterisk, "You working tonight?" Asterisk, he texted. Asterisk, "Yeah, graveyard shift again." "Why are you up?" "It's late." Asterisk, I replied. "Thinking about Mom," he wrote back. I felt a sharp pang in my chest. Our mom passed away 3 months ago in this very hospital. It was a surgical complication during a routine valve replacement. It was rare, unexpected, and completely devastating. I grieved by throwing myself into my work. I needed to be here to help other families, to make sense of the loss. Elias grieved differently. He got angry. He blamed the lead surgeon, Dr. Evans. He became obsessed with the idea that it was malpractice. He spent thousands on lawyers who all told him the same thing. The autopsy confirmed it was a natural anomaly. Dr. Evans did everything right. But Elias couldn't accept that sometimes bad things just happen. "Elias," I texted back. Asterisk, "You need to sleep. We can visit her grave on Sunday. Please put the phone away." Asterisk. He didn't reply. I assumed he fell asleep. At 2:15 a.m., the silence of the ward was shattered. The overhead speakers, usually reserved for soft-spoken code blue calls, crackled with a harsh, static noise. Then, a robotic, automated voice boomed through the hallway. "Code Silver. Active threat on the 3rd floor. This is not a drill. Lockdown immediately. Code Silver, 3rd floor. The 3rd floor. My floor." The air sucked out of the room. For a split second, nobody moved. It's hard to explain the feeling. Your brain just rejects the information. You think it's a mistake. You think it's a test. Then, instinct kicked in. I was standing at the nurse's station with a student nurse named Sarah. She's only 20, still in her clinical rotations. Her face went sheet white. "What do we do?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "Move," I said. I grabbed her arm and dragged her toward the medication supply room. It was the only room nearby with a solid steel door and no windows. We scrambled inside. I killed the lights and locked the heavy deadbolt. We huddled in the pitch black, crouching behind shelves stacked with saline bags and boxes of antibiotics. The room smelled like rubbing alcohol and fear. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard I thought it would crack them. Then we heard it. Pop, pop. Gunshots. Definitely gunshots. And they were close. Just down the hall, near the elevators. Sarah started sobbing quietly into her hands, rocking back and forth. "He's going to kill us," she whispered. "He's going to come in here." "Shh," I hissed, terrified that even a whisper would give us away. "Stay quiet. We are locked in. We are safe." But I didn't feel safe. I felt like a sitting duck. I pulled out my phone, dimming the screen to the lowest setting. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it twice. I needed to tell someone I loved them. I didn't have a partner, so I opened my text thread with Elias. Asterisk, Elias. Hospital in lockdown. Shooter on my floor. I'm scared. I love you. Asterisk. I watched the 3 little dots appear instantly. He was typing. Asterisk, I know. Asterisk. I stared at the screen, confusion washing over me. I know, how could he know? It had been less than 3 minutes since the alarm. The news wouldn't have picked it up yet. No one outside the building should know. Asterisk, it's on the news already? Asterisk, I typed back, my thumbs slipping on the glass. No, he replied. Asterisk, I'm doing this for us, Maya. I'm going to make Dr. Evans admit what he did to Mom. Asterisk. The world stopped spinning. The cold tile floor beneath me seemed to dissolve. I wasn't just trapped in a room with a shooter nearby. The shooter was my brother. I felt bile rise in my throat. I looked at Sarah, huddled in the corner, terrified of the monster in the hallway. She didn't know the monster was the guy who taught me how to ride a bike. The guy who bought me ice cream when I got dumped in high school. The guy who held my hand at Mom's funeral. Another shot rang out. Closer this time. Then the distinct sound of glass shattering, probably the display case in the waiting area. I typed furiously. Asterisk, Elias, stop. Please. You're in the ICU. There are innocent people here. I'm here. Asterisk. Asterisk, I'm not here for you, Maya. Stay in the break room. You'll be safe. Asterisk. He thought I was in the break room. That's where I usually took my lunch at 2 a.m. He had memorized my schedule. He thought he was protecting me by attacking when I was on break. But I wasn't in the break room. I was in the med closet, 10 feet from Dr. Evans' office. I'm not in the break room, I lied, trying to figure out how to stop him. Asterisk, Elias, listen to me. Mom wouldn't want this. This isn't justice. It's murder. Asterisk. It's justice, he texted back. Asterisk, Evans is in his office. I saw him walk in. I'm going to end this. Asterisk. I heard heavy boots on the linoleum. Asterisk, thud. 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 Asterisk. They weren't hurrying. They were walking with purpose. The footsteps stopped right outside the supply room door. I held my breath. Sarah squeezed her eyes shut, tears streaming down her face. I grabbed her hand and squeezed it hard, praying she wouldn't scream. The doorknob jiggled. My phone buzzed. Asterisk, where are you really, Maya? I don't see you in the break room. I checked. Asterisk. He was hunting. Not just for Dr. Evans, but checking for me. He wanted to make sure I was safe before he did whatever horrible thing he planned next. I made a split-second decision. If I stayed quiet, he might move on. But he would kill Dr. Evans. And probably anyone else who got in his way. If I spoke up, I might die. But he was my brother. I had to believe there was still a part of him that was Elias. I'm in the supply closet, I texted. Asterisk, right next to you. Asterisk. The footsteps stopped. Silence stretched for an eternity. The only sound was the hum of the refrigerator in the corner. Then his voice came through the door. It didn't sound like a killer's voice. It sounded broken, hollow, like a child. Maya? Elias, I said, my voice trembling so much I barely recognized it. Please. Put the gun down. He killed Mom, Elias shouted, and the sudden anger in his voice shook the door frame. He didn't care. He just moved on to the next patient like she was nothing. Someone has to make him pay. This won't bring her back. I yelled through the door, standing up now. Sarah looked at me with horror, realizing I knew the gunman. Her eyes were wide, pleading with me to stop, but I couldn't. If you do this, you lose everything. You lose me too. Do you want to leave me all alone? Mom is gone. Dad is gone. You're all I have left. Don't take yourself away from me too. I can't go back, he sobbed. I already shot the guard. My stomach dropped. Marcus. The sweet old man. The donut. You can still stop, I said, tears running down my face. Please, Elias. Just put it down. For me. For Mom. I heard sirens wailing in the distance now. The police were coming. SWAT would be minutes away. Open the door, Maya, he said. No, I said. Not until you put the gun down. I just want to see you, he said. One last time. My phone buzzed again. A text from him. Asterisk, I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough. I love you, little sis. Asterisk. Elias, no. I screamed. Don't you dare. I heard the sound of metal sliding across the floor. Asterisk skitter. Clink. Asterisk, then a heavy thud against the wall. It's down, he said. The gun is down. I promise. I hesitated. Was it a trick? Was he waiting to ambush me? But this was Elias. My Elias. I unlocked the deadbolt with trembling fingers. The metallic click was the loudest sound in the world. I pushed the door open. Elias was sitting on the floor in the hallway, his back against the wall. A handgun lay about 10 feet away, near the nurse's station. He looked terrible, pale, unshaven, his eyes wild and red-rimmed. He looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. He looked up at me and burst into tears. I didn't think. I didn't act like a hostage. I acted like a sister. I fell to my knees and hugged him. I hugged the man who had just shot my friend. I hugged the man who terrified my colleagues. It was a messy, confusing, heartbreaking hug. I miss her so much, he choked out into my shoulder, his body shaking. I know, I whispered, stroking his hair like he used to do for me when I had nightmares. I know. But this wasn't the way. We stayed like that for 2 minutes. Just two siblings crying on a hospital floor. Then the stairwell door burst open. Police. Hands. Show me your hands. They didn't ask questions. They swarmed the hallway like a wave of black armor. I was ripped away from him so fast I got whiplash. They threw Elias to the ground, knees in his back, screaming commands. He's unarmed. I screamed. He surrendered. But a heavy hand pushed me against the wall. A SWAT officer pointed a rifle at me while another patted me down. I watched them zip-tie his hands behind his back. He didn't fight. He didn't scream. He just looked at me with dead eyes as they dragged him away toward the elevators. The aftermath was a blur. I found out later that Marcus, the guard, survived. Elias had shot him in the leg to get past the desk. It was a through-and-through wound. He would walk with a cane, but he would live. Thank God. Dr. Evans was unharmed. He had barricaded himself in his office when the first shots fired. But my life, and Elias's life, is over as we knew it. The trial was a nightmare. I had to testify against my own brother. I had to sit on the stand and tell the jury about his grief, his obsession, and the texts. I had to read that text, asterisk, I'm doing this for us, asterisk, out loud to a silent courtroom. The defense tried to plead temporary insanity due to extreme grief. They brought in psychologists who talked about complicated bereavement. But the premeditation was too clear. He bought the gun 3 days before. He planned the route. He waited for my break. Elias was sentenced to 25 years in a maximum security prison. I still work at the hospital, though I transferred to the day shift in the pediatric wing. I couldn't handle the quiet of the night shift anymore. The silence is too loud now. Every time I hear a loud noise, I jump. Every time my phone buzzes, my heart stops. I visit Elias once a month. We talk through a thick glass partition. He looks older now. The anger is gone, replaced by a deep, hollow sadness. We talk about small things, books he's reading in the library, the weather, old memories from before Mom died. We never talk about Dr. Evans. We never talk about the gun. Last week, right before the guards took him back to his cell, he asked me a question he had never asked before. Why did you open the door? He asked quietly. You were safe inside. You didn't know if I would shoot. I put my hand against the glass, matching it to his palm. I wasn't hiding from a stranger, Elias, I told him. I was hiding from my brother. And I knew that if I didn't open that door, I wouldn't just lose you to prison. I'd lose the last piece of family I had left. He nodded and looked away, tears filling his eyes. For a moment, just a fleeting second, I saw the brother who used to protect me from the world before the grief broke him into something I didn't recognize.